In the future, I would just call We're going to call to order our September 27th Apex Parks Recreation and Cultural Resources Advisory Commission meeting. First, we'll start with invocation. Thank you. Next, be the Pledge of Allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Good job starting. All right.
Somebody.
Nobody else.
Next, we will have the approval of our August 30th, 2023 meeting minutes. Again, meeting minutes are sent out to us in advance, so I think everyone's had a chance to take a look at those, and if not, motion to approve those minutes would be.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Motion and properly second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, next we'll jump right into the director's report.
So my report kind of involves projects. So we'll just kind of jump through director's report, personnel, and projects in general.
Okay.
So council approved last night the contract award to Lanier Company for Apex West Greenway. So it's 700 plus linear feet that's going to connect the ATT off of Olive Chapel Road. We also had the criteria for design build approved last night by council for the bike track at Hunter Street. So that's steadily moving forward. Pleasant Park, obviously that's always a big topic. We're moving forward. We've got some piping that needs to be replaced at the pump station. The pipes are supposed to be here this week, hopefully, and they'll get those installed within the next couple weeks is the hope. Not sure where we are with DOT and CSX with trying to get the signaling panel in and installed. So I don't know, do you have any updates on that piece of it? Okay. So they have to install a panel. So CSX information relays and connects with DOT for the lights. Once they get the panel installed, they'll run blinking yellow lights for a week, and then it'll be regular stoplight after that. So those are some of the big items that we're waiting on. We did have a punch list walkthrough on Monday, and they pretty much took care of the majority of the things that were on the original punch list items. So we've got very few items left for the buildings, that is. So we still have to go through the entire facility, but building wise, we're hoping staff can get in there within the next 2 to 3 weeks. That's the hope. Not sure when the actual facility will open. We continue to say hopefully within the fall time frame. My hope is end of October at the latest, but we'll see. So we also received our 2 camp buses, track out camp buses. So you'll be seeing some photos of those on social media posts. They look really good. We got wraps on them, and they definitely show off Parks and Rec. So they look really nice.
Wraps?
I thought he said rats.
Wraps.
Wraps. Yeah,
They got wraps.
They
Yeah,
said
that's
wraps.
that's cool. That's,
So,
no, that's
it's got our master plan tree, and then it has the A, of course, the Avengers A.
The current A.
That's right.
Current A.
It looks clean. It looks like we're really showing off with it. So I thought it turned out really well.
Good.
That's all I got.
good deal. Thank you, sir. So you jumped through.
I jumped through personnel. We didn't really have any personnel updates. I know Megan Jones is a new addition for us. She's a program specialist that we've hired from Raleigh, and she's actually handling all of our track out day camps. And so she'll be here for the next advisory mission or commission meeting. So,
Okay.
but really, that's the only addition at this point.
All right. So no projects in operation.
The projects is kind of what my update was just now.
Program. So we're at chairman's, right?
Yep.
All right. I don't have anything, so we'll move on to that. Leave a moment for any public comment. I think they missed the door closing. So, Any old business? All right, brings us to the new business.
Mr. Chair, I'd like to make a motion. I need to recuse myself since I'm the engineer of record on Seymour property. So I'm gonna go sit out there if it's okay with you guys and answer questions as you need me. But I think I need a motion to,
Somebody, motion.
Motion to allow Mr. Roach to recuse himself. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Thank you, sir.
Now we can have at it. Who's that engineer? Who did this plan? Terrible plan. Really need a good landscape architect. I know you're coming.
All right. So, our new business tonight is the Seymour Mixed Use PUD. It's a rezoning of 81.9 acres southwest of downtown Apex, adjacent to previous developments such as Salem Village and Bradley Terrace. It's on parcels that are both north and south of the Apex Peakway. The parcels within the planned unit development are located at the intersection of Apex Peakway and Tingen Road. I'll just get you a little closer in so you can see this lovely assemblage. The project is proposing a maximum combination of 740 single-family detached, attached, and multifamily residential units, along with 3 acres of, or 3+ acres of non-residential use. There is greenway that was adopted with the master plan, so it was amended in this section, and so they're proposing a fee in lieu of dedication with credit for construction of greenway in that tract. We're also evaluating and have a recommendation to request that the alignment of the proposed greenway be determined at the subdivision site plan approval timeline, but that the construction, which would normally be required to be completed prior to 25% of the total units of the project, be tied to the parcels that are west of Tingen Road, and so that would affect the timeline a little bit, so that it was 50% of those units west of Tingen Road being developed, because the eastern portion has the non-residential and multifamily in it. That's intended to go first, and they would not participate in the construction, nor would they get credit for that section. So it's a little bit different than normal, but it ties and lines up with what we would expect for timing of construction to happen with the project. So they're going to ask for that upfront. And so that's included in our recommendation. So I'll give you our recommendation to make that more clear. So we recommend a fee in lieu of dedication with credit for construction of greenway for a maximum combination of 740 single-family detached, attached, and multifamily residential units. If approved in 2023, their rate would be our 2023 rates, but if they don't get to council until January, it would be updated to the 2024 rates. And if the project, and the staff is supportive of the request to have the construction timing of the greenway to be completed and accepted prior to 50% of the units west of Tingen Road receiving a building permit. So any questions?
It's a lot of people.
Yeah.
That's a lot of people. No, I don't have any questions though. Anybody?
I don't like it.
I could hear the. Yeah.
But you're getting a greenway.
I don't care.
Anyone? Questions, comments? Jeff, any clarity you'd like to offer us?
not unless you guys need something. I mean, I think 740 is a little bit higher than what's gonna be there.
Okay.
And remember, it's an apartment complex, so it's gonna be somewhere between 250 and 350. So that's taken most of the units. And Angela can explain all this too.
Okay.
That's just to give you a little bit more background on the project.
We asked them for a maximum anticipated, like, max level, so that if they change plans within their site, that they don't have to come back.
Right.
And so it's sort of more of what it could support versus what they're actually going to plan. But they have to, by density and other things, would create a ceiling. So that if for some reason they asked for 700 and they did 701, they'd have to come back to you guys and get another recommendation.
So that you kind of answered my question. So we're making this recommendation based off the 740. So if they end up only putting 600, will we have to then?
No,
We won't.
no.
So
The only
the-
requirement is if
calculation will change.
even
Calculation will
if they added land, if they added land and they didn't add units, then you wouldn't see that. We might advise you of that, but you wouldn't make a recommendation on it. If they don't add land, but they came back and asked for more units for whatever reason, they switched to multifamily on both sides of, then, and they increase the unit count, then that's when you would hear that. So they're kind of, I guess, we're way ahead of knowing exactly what they're gonna plan for all those things, but at the rezoning level, we just have to set a limit.
You go first.
Just for clarity of how much greenway and where would be required to be constructed and that they would get credit for, is it both the segment that is in the north, the parcel that is north of the Peakway, as well as the eastern edge of the parcel that is west of Tingen?
So their requirement would be for this greenway that's within their project boundaries. This portion that's along the Big Branch corridor would not be required because it's outside of their property. So our alignment doesn't have it built within their parcel. We are looking at, it is in our CIP to look at Big Branch and ask for design and funding now that we have the feasibility study done. And if you'll remember, during the master plan adoption, the greenway was shown going up through these subdivisions up to Perry Road or James Street. And it has now been realigned to follow the Tingen Road up to South Salem Street. But that ties into the fact that there's greenway when the Peakway is built to the west. That crossing of CSX will close, and our transportation team is working on a grade separated crossing of CSX to Salem. So that alignment gets our sort of the greenway corridor to that grade separated crossing.
And I've asked this before, and I think you answered it because it looks like the credit's going to go for the proposed greenway. But
Yes.
when we're giving credit for this, and sorry if I've asked this 100 times, we're not going to give credit for like roadside pathways. We're only going to give credit for.
Correct. In this plan, the only credit against the fees would be the greenway within the project. That's true greenway.
Okay.
There have been times where we've given partial credit if we physically realize we can't put the greenway sort of near a creek, but we can move it onto a street and make the connection happen. And so in those cases, they're getting 50% credit because they're only, in a sense, building half of the sidewalk, expanding it to a 10-foot.
And that was my question. 'Cause that's,
This one has side path that would be covered under the transportation requirements.
okay. I just wanted to make sure there's clarification. Thank you.
Sure.
Other questions, concerns? So we would need to vote on this, right? After getting the appropriate motion.
Yes, we need a recommendation.
That is a mouthful. Someone want to try it?
No?
I can say, if you want, if you take the first sentence of the recommendation and the last sentence and support those recommendations, you've kind of covered the rest of it's just filler to let you know what the timing is.
I move that we accept the staff recommendation of a fee in lieu of dedication with credit for the construction of the greenway for a maximum combination of 740 single-family attached and multifamily residential units, and that we support the staff recommendation for the request to have the construction timing of the greenway to be completed and accepted prior to 50% of the units west of Tingen Road receiving a building permit.
Okay.
Have a second.
Well done.
Second.
Motion and properly second. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Right. Thank you, Angela. If there's nothing else,
I have
Can we
one
make a
other thing.
recommendation to not build so many units?
Right.
No, that's not us. That's
No.
not our purview.
We need to make a motion to
bring Jeff.
Oh,
There's nothing else on the.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, there's not, I mean, we can't,
so we'll leave them floating.
that's not the.
I know, that's not what we.
Yeah, right, right.
Can I ask a clarification question?
Yes.
Since you brought that up,
Question?
or question?
Yeah, no.
If, because it's a fine, I'm kind of with you there. I don't want to not approve, but sometimes and I don't want to say no, but we can abstain from but I guess that doesn't make sense to abstain because I do want you guys to collect the credits for it. But I don't love the premise it's under. There's really nothing we're kind of
I
right.
think the only thing to do is
make
to
a
go
note.
talk to our town councilors and tell them, as public servants, and tell them what our thoughts are.
Yeah.
That's it.
That's why I didn't deny it, because that's not the motion.
Yeah,
that's
there's
on,
no.
right?
right.
Exactly, and I was the
Right
same
now,
thing.
We
Yeah.
have so much residential and no commercial to support it here, and they just keep on building it.
And the schools.
And schools, let me tell you.
Schools.
A
We're
lot.
not building the schools.
Yeah.
Sure.
You would like about what the project background is.
Sure.
Because we've made zoning submittals, so it's all public record. I'd be happy to fill you guys in.
And I just want a clarification, right? Like, I want to approve I think we need to get the credit and this makes sense, but big picture, as everybody seems to be, so thank you for.
I want to show you what trees that we hopefully could preserve on that site too.
I have a couple of my own too. Specifically the one by the house, right on.
The giant, but then the
Oh, yeah, the
pines
beautiful
that the western boundary of
Yeah.
just the buffer between the two neighborhoods.
I agree. Is your house back up, Rick?
No,
Actually, mine doesn't either, but. it's
actually doesn't.
close.
Mhm.
Yeah,
But
I'm
it's
not
just,
close to there.
that intersection's already a nightmare.
It's terrible.
It's super
explain
fun. I know, I'm sure there's a signal going there.
After.
Yeah.
Always.
Sorry.
No,
One piece of the big
Welcome.
puzzle,
Tell, I
right?
just
We're
want
Oh,
one
sorry,
piece
let's
of the
close
puzzle.
out.
Yeah, yeah,
Then we can-
I welcome the healthy discussion because it'll help
Oh,
me as
Mary,
well.
Mary has a.
Sure.
Daryl, before we close, I just wanted to, on a separate topic, say congratulations to the department, because I thought they did a fabulous job on the Party in the Peak, moving everything indoors.
yeah. Oh, my
Under
gosh.
those terrifically adverse weather conditions, so that's really something that they did well.
Was it officially like a tropical storm?
We did. It wasn't the coast.
Tropical depression.
Yes.
Thank you for saying that. I should have talked about that because it was an effort across departments, and it was a massive undertaking bringing it inside. So
Kudos.
operations,
well attended.
operations, public works, our operations
Did
staff,
all the
like,
food
everybody.
trucks show up?
Most of them.
Did
Most
they?
of them showed up.
And people went outside?
They had a tent, so they were very near.
Some of them did. It was raining a lot. It was.
Yeah.
We had a
pond
really
out
good,
there.
like, I was really concerned about the turnout, and I thought the turnout was outstanding for the weather outside. I mean, because you really couldn't do anything else. I was at a soccer game on an artificial turf field, but that was about it. That's all you could do. So,
So can we tell them about Middle Creek?
sure.
So Middle Creek is staked, and they're installing the tree protection fence, and then they'll start clearing and grubbing. So that 1 mile plus from the Holly Springs border north is officially underway.
Where does it stop?
It stops just north of Colby Chase at the Middle Creek pump station.
And
Yeah.
Horton Park.
And Horton Park is under construction and has the corridor cleared. They're doing utility work, but that's where the greenway, we have a cost estimate that's ready to be approved. So that will link that all the way up to Jesse Drive, basically between Side Path and Greenway.
Yeah, great.
So, and the feasibility study for Middle Creek is ongoing, and we've got some really good feedback from VHB on that. So that takes us all the way to 1010. So we've got, that corridor is really gonna open up a lot soon.
Great.
It's huge.
So,
Thank you.
and we will possibly be seeing Viridia's Parks Master Plan. They're required to bring it back to you guys. We have conditions in their rezoning that were approved many years ago. So we're working with them on that process because it's a little bit different, but that one is moving forward too, and so we'll have a master plan for the community. They're working on their pattern book, which affects our design standards for the facilities that we build within the project, and so we're just making sure that we're not getting anything that we can't meet or that would be burdensome to us that fall outside of their purview of responsibility of architectural controls and
Who's doing that
design
plan?
stuff. Who's working on that?
Yeah, do you know?
So McAdams is involved in some of the project. RXR out of New York is doing so. I think we're getting pieces of it from different groups, and I don't know who is leading the charge, but it has a responsible person as part of the zoning conditions, and so it's definitely a unique and different aspect of design and development in town. But we'll be seeing that. So first time we'll have like a full master plan of parkland and stuff within a project in the town, and it's probably at least about 50 acres or more, with required acreage for different components.
Has the focus on sustainability kind of carried through?
It's still required. It's also supposed to be a transit-oriented design, so, but we've seen residential and non-residential sections. They're all out, also public information online. So if you look at the interactive development map, but the pattern book is the latest that was submitted, and so it's starting to drill down into some of those kinds of lighting standards, and we've asked them to incorporate all of our Pleasant Park amenities as an option so that we don't get put into another standard that we don't have available to us now.
Thanks, Ann.
Thanks.
Thank you, everyone. Motion to adjourn?
Make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? We adjourn.